Each year, as a tax agent, I get people applying to claim the same items that there's just a common misconception that people think are claimable. In this video, I'm going to go through 4 of the most common items that people think they can claim that they actually can't claim on tax. So the first one, and it's definitely the biggest, it is uniform costs outside of the ATO regulations. So many people get this wrong. They think that they can claim certain clothing costs that are just actually not deductible. So let's have a look at what the ATO say. They say when you can't claim a deduction, it is you can't claim a deduction for buying, hiring, preparing, or cleaning conventional clothing you buy for work, even if your employer says that the clothing is compulsory or you only wear it for work. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They go, well, my employer says I have to wear this, or I only wear it for work. So what is conventional clothing? Well, they say it is things like black trousers worn by waiters, business attire worn by office workers, or jeans worn by tradespeople. You can't claim any of these things because they're deemed as conventional clothing. You also can't claim clothing that your employer pays for or reimburses you for. So what can you claim? Well, you can claim compulsory clothing that is for your workplace. So maybe you have to buy a Rooshock accounting hoodie and you have to pay for it. I wouldn't make my employees pay for that, but that could be something you could claim. Or maybe you've got occupation-specific clothing, which is a bit of an odd one, but they might be like the checkered pants that a chef wears, or of course, protective clothing. Maybe you've had to buy high-vis stuff for work, or maybe you've had to go out and buy safety boots. Well, then they could be claimable. Your best thing to do is check the ATO website, read that, or check with your tax agent. The second one that people get wrong all the time is travel from home to work. I've had a lot of clients come to me and say, yeah, I've traveled heaps of work. I had to work out of town. And then I find out that was their normal place of work and they were just traveling there all the time. So you can only claim travel that is once you're at work, going to another place, or potentially if you're going to a different place of work that isn't your usual place of work, or if you're doing work-related activities on your travels. So you can't claim from home to work, no matter how far that is. And that is a really difficult one for people to understand. And that does extend beyond just motor vehicle expenses. It also claims for maybe you've got to pay for public transport or an Uber or something like that to work. If it is your usual place of work, you can't claim it. Now, there's a lot of ATO rulings regarding this and a lot of information in the area. This would be definitely something I'd suggest you go and look into, especially if you're carrying bulky tools, because you potentially could claim travel if you're having to carry bulky tools. But there are so many different rulings on different situations where you want to make sure you're getting this right, because it is an area that ATO crack down on, and it's very easy for them to ask your employer, does this person carry bulky tools or do they use their vehicle for work? And if they say no, your claim wiped out. Now, before I get into the third one, I'm gonna let everyone know that my business, Rooshock Accounting, we're still taking on clients. So if you're wanting a tax agent to get your tax return done, reach out to us. All of our links are in the description of this video. Now let's move on to the third one, which is study costs for non-work related courses. This is an area that ATO are very strict on. Your course needs to have a direct relation to your current employment to be able to be deductible. So this means that you can't claim study costs for a course that has no relevance to your work. So for instance, if you're working in fast food while studying your teaching degree, you can't claim your teaching degree costs because it has no relevance to your current employment. They are very strict on this, actually making sure it has a direct relation to your current employment. So this means, for instance, say you're in the business of selling computers, you're working in a retail store that sells computers. If you're studying something in IT, maybe cybersecurity, you wouldn't likely be able to claim it because it has no direct relation to your current job. So you need to be really careful if you're claiming study costs, making sure that you're actually understanding what the ATO determines as claimable in this area. Again, my suggestion is always to go to their website. They have a lot of good information when it comes to the different areas of your tax return. Have a read of how that works. If you're still unsure, you either need to give them a call or speak to a tax agent who can help clarify, does your study have enough link to be able to be claimed? And the other area when it comes to study costs is if you are claiming stuff, you need to make sure you actually paid for it and weren't reimbursed for it. So you can't claim expenses that your employer then reimbursed you, even if they were related to your work income. And the final one is phone and internet when you're using the fixed rate method. So if you're working from home and using the fixed rate method, it is so important that you understand what is included in this method, because again, the ATO put this on their hit list for this financial year. If you're using the fixed rate method, it changed from the 2022/2023 year onwards, and it now includes phone and internet costs. So if you're using that fixed rate method of 67 cents per hour work from home, you can't then claim phone and internet on top of that. And it's definitely an area I would say a lot of my clients aren't aware of because the rules have changed. Unfortunately, it means even if you're using your phone all the time outside of working from home, maybe you use it all the time at work, if you've claimed the work from home under the fixed rate method, you can't claim anything for that phone. So you really should be weighing up the fixed cost and the actual cost method to see what works best for you, especially if you're using your own phone for work. Make sure you're doing those calculations on both methods and then picking the one that works best for you. That is a great part about the working from home claims, is you compare the method that works best for you for that year. It doesn't even have to be the same method as what you used last year. And that's why I always say to people, do the calculations, work out what works best for you to help maximize your return. Now, while I'm talking about maximizing your return, if you haven't done your return yet, I'd love for you to go and check out my How to Maximize Your Tax Return video. It's my favorite video to make every single year. It always proves pretty popular. So I'd love for you to go and check that one out. I thank you for watching this one, and I'll talk to you again soon.